Workouts this week, your current diet and nutrition plan, and the new workout strategies that you're currently using. Now, what do these three things have in common? Well, unfortunately, none of them matter nearly as much as you think if you're not paying close attention to your recovery. That right there is the topic of today's video, so stay tuned. All right, so how do you make sure that you're recovering as well as you can, or maximizing your recovery so that you can either gain more muscle, obviously something I talk about a lot in this channel, or you can lose, in order to lose more body fat, or if you're training for a sport or just generally want to increase your athletic performance and your overall fitness, how can your recovery tie into this? Because this is where so many of us fail when it comes to making the progress that we want. So stop for a second and think about what you're trying to do when you get into the gym. So you're either lifting, or you're doing cardio, or you're doing some combination of the two, and you're paying attention, hopefully you're paying attention to your diet. Why are you doing these things? Well, obviously you're doing this because you want to either feel better or look different or maintain whatever you've been able to achieve so far. I assume that's correct. And if that's the case, good. So now that we agree, I'm guessing that you're training hard, muscles have been challenged, your cardio has been challenged. Maybe now, you've done your workout, you're exhausted. So that part is done. Now you want the magic to happen. What is the magic? You're waiting for your body to change as a result of all the workouts and the effort that you've put into workouts and nutrition and everything else. You're trying to tell your body a couple of things. You're trying to say, hey, get the fat out of storage, use it for energy, because you want to get lean, you want to have a six-pack, something like that. Maybe you're telling your body that now you need some biceps to go along with the abs. For sure, you're trying to tell your body that you need to be stronger so that you can lift heavier next training session, next week, next month, whatever it is. And if you think, okay, you're training for a sport, you need to improve your performance, your conditioning, your cardio so that you don't gas out, good. Now, the trouble is that the space where all of those adaptations take place is your recovery window. So the times when you're not working out, all the magic, the keys happen, with what you're doing outside of the gym. So things like stretching or foam rolling or massage, and we'll talk about all of these things. Sleeping more, reducing and managing your stress levels, staying hydrated, paying attention to your nutrition, and many other factors. So I'll start with something that's super popular right now. I assume that by now most of you have either used or seen one of those massage guns out there, whether it's top of the line, the Theragun, or the Hypervolt, or there are a billion other varieties out there. Now, questions. What are they? What are they doing? Do they even work? Do they improve your recovery or your performance at all? Well, short answer, yes. Long answer, maybe. There's not a ton of research out there on these massage guns, but from what it is available, suggests that yes, percussive therapy, it's called percussive therapy by the way, either before or after or both, relative to a training session, can reduce muscle soreness or DOMS. Can possibly improve or reduce inflammatory markers, can improve your range of motion, can improve your strength. But given the limited research that is available, they don't at this point seem to do any harm, and may be beneficial. So go for it, use them, try them out before or after. Next up is actually the most important thing, and I can't stress this enough. I might need to make a completely separate video on this, and it is sleep. How long you sleep and how well you sleep on average is, for most people, absolutely the most important thing to consider for health and recovery generally. So, how will you sleep, or sleep quality? Let's focus mostly on how much deep sleep that you're getting, because at a very basic level, while you sleep and while you sleep deeply, your muscles are relaxed and you have now the perfect hormonal environment for tissue repair and for growth to occur, and that is what we're chasing. While you're sleeping, your stress hormone levels decrease, testosterone and growth hormone levels go up. Hormones that influence your hunger and feeding, like leptin and ghrelin, are modulated. So here's the question. How much sleep is even enough? Well, that is going to vary from person to person, your circumstances, short and long-term workout intensities, and so on. But for the average adult, anywhere between 7 and 8 hours a day is going to be roughly sufficient for you to continue to recover and live an overall healthy lifestyle. So, well, if sleep is so important, then how do you know how well you're sleeping? I mean, it's sort of relatively easy to figure out how long you're sleeping, but not really. But there are a number of different ways that you can track how long and how well you're sleeping. And the current method that I'm using is using a ring, this one right here, called an Oura ring. And it's actually doing much more than just tracking my sleep. It's monitoring things like my heart rate, breathing rate, what's called heart rate variability or HRV. And all these things are actually very relevant to overall recovery capacity. But this is not an Oura commercial, so I'm not gonna go into any further details. If you're interested in the ring and what it tracks and why I use it, then drop a comment below. I'd be happy to get back to you as soon as possible. Now, if you really want to understand how important sleep is to health overall, here is a link to something that I think is actually mind-blowing. It is a podcast from Joe Rogan where he interviews a neuroscientist by the name of Dr. Matthew Walker. And he goes deeply into mental and physical manifestations of sleep deprivation and how that impacts our health as a whole. Now, the link is in the description below. Again, it's a pretty long podcast. It's probably about a 2-hour listen or watch. Either watch it or listen to it, knowing that it will take about 2 hours. Be prepared. It is sort of a life changer if you allow it to be. So, big shout out to Joe for having such an incredibly valuable person on his podcast and overall his incredible content. And of course, shout out to Dr. Walker for his incredible work and commitment to really bringing the importance of sleep to the community just sort of worldwide. And I can almost guarantee that sleep is going to be sort of on the fourth one of the hot button topics to discuss in healthcare moving forward. So you guys might as well get ahead of the curve now and start paying attention to your sleep. All right, what else can you then do to improve your recovery? So here is one that I think gets harder and harder for us all to do. And it's taking control of the constant barrage of information that is leading to our overstimulation and our general stress levels day in, day out that we're constantly exposing ourselves to. Right now, everything is so geared towards grabbing our attention and specifically, intended to raise our level of urgency or excitement or importance about anything. And, most of that is about things that aren't important and definitely are not urgent at all. And it's a genius strategy because, we're biologically just wired to pay attention to anything that seems like, it could be an emergency or pose any danger of any sort. And what's happening is our body is responding by increasing the level of stress hormones that are designed to make us run like hell if we need to get away from a predator or if there's no time to stand up and fight like hell. And we get a similar adrenaline dump, or probably not a dump, but a constant influx of adrenaline into our system all day long from all these non-predatory, but predatory signals in the end that are coming from every direction. So everything's just feeding into this ancient, emergency response or emergency warning system that we have. And we need to just try to relax more, avoid excessive stimulation, recognize our body's responses to these signals, try to modify them, and just overall improve our recovery and our mindfulness. So try something like meditation or something else which helps you to be more mindful. And again, that's another ginormous topic that I could get more into, but I won't right here. Let me know in the comments if you want to go any further or want me to go any further into my current meditation practice and the apps or the devices that I use to help with my meditation. I'd be happy to answer that stuff. Just let me know below. So what else? Well, nutrition and hydration, and I'll try to be quick. I don't want this to be an exhaustively long video, but if you think about it, one thing that is common to pretty much every diet and diet trend out there, apart maybe from if it fits your macros, is an overlapping focus on, concentrating nutrition or foods, concentrating on foods that are minimally processed and keeping protein levels high throughout the day. Now, there are tons of diet trends, there are tons of approaches, there are tons of things that are going to be different, but that is one common theme that seems to be present among pretty much all of them. And there is good reason. And I could go into depth about various nutritional strategies or diet strategies, but for the purposes of this video, I won't. But if you're someone who has moderate to high stress levels and you're interested in a keto diet, or you're thinking of trying keto or currently are trying keto, you might want to think a little bit more about that, because carbs do provide a little bit of a stress buffering property or capacity to your nutrition. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, leave me a comment below if that's something you want me to cover in a separate video. Overall, my general strategies or approaches to maximizing recovery are: number one, get a minimum of 7 hours of sleep per night. That's not 7 hours laying there, that's 7 hours of sleep at least, more if possible. Work on bringing those stress levels down, trying to be as relaxed as you possibly can throughout the day, reducing all that constant barrage of information and overstimulation that's coming into your screen time and so on. Start a meditation or some sort of mindfulness practice as best as you can to try to take control of your mind and emotional responses, because the truth is emotions manifest physically, and those stressful emotions that you have result in stressful physical responses. That's what you want to avoid. When your workouts are done, bring sort of that level of intensity back down, calm down, try to, refocus yourself and get back into, sort of a calm meditative state. Obviously, focus your nutrition on foods that are minimally processed but nutrient dense. Do things like stretching, foam rolling, massages, using those massage guns before and or after your workouts, where I'm assuming you're training hard, you need to train hard, actually challenge yourself. But those are sort of the top keys that I think, you really should keep in mind when it comes to your recovery. All right, guys, so that pretty much turned out to be a longer video than I intended. But I wanted to dive a little bit into recovery and touch a little bit on, each of the factors that I think are pretty important to maximizing your recovery to get the benefits that you want. Honestly, I want to spend some time, separate videos on a couple topics, but I'm going to need your help. Let me know, first of all, that you found the video to be helpful by giving it a thumbs up and sharing the video with others that can benefit from maximizing or potentially trying to maximize their recovery. Save the video, revisit it. I know this is a big topic moving forward. I would appreciate if you subscribe to the channel and also ring the notification bell so that you get the notifications each week. Again, let me know which of these topics you want me to dive into further, and I'll get that added to the list. Any comments below, feel free to leave them, guys. I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can on each of those. But until next week, the next video, guys, aloha from beautiful Kauai.